The legend of Arsene Lupin, gentleman thief, is a tale that has been heard by most, but the truth known only by a few. Opinions are divisive, a playful swindler or a hardened career criminal. One thing that cannot be argued, the excitement of Arsene Lupin and his antics are unrivaled.
They're just paranoid, as if Lupin's going to get anywhere near this place.
I know you keep saying it's an impenetrable fortress, but you've heard the stories.
Don't worry, it's an easy gig. We got our posts, and that egg stays safe and sound.
Gentlemen,
An impossible undertaking for most, a walk in the park for Arsene Lupin. He was triumphant over the trials that had stood before him, but it was only with careful planning and execution that he could make every task look so simple. Now, a combination was all that stood between him and his prize. The combination had to be somewhere. Would they have trusted the now unconscious guards with such important info? Eight. The terrified owners only trusted each guard with half the combination. A quick rummage, and he had what he required. Oh. Before he tackled the colossal vault door that blocked his path, he took a moment to remind himself of why he was there.
aha.
The vault stood open like a cookie jar, just waiting for him to reach in. Carefully, now was not the time to stray from the path. Curse is locked, but for every door there is a key. Curse is locked, but
Huh. Huh? Ah. Ooh.
curse is locked.
Oh.
Curse is locked. Curse is locked. Curse is locked. But hey, presto! Just a few more steps.
Heh.
A steady hand and Of course, it was not the obvious that he was seeking. There was a more valuable prize.
Huh? Huh.
In all its beauty, the Black Pearl. All that was left to do was escape. A simple task after the gauntlet of obstacles he had just championed.
If an alarm is required. Let me guess. You read that in a newspaper. They also said I ran around in a top hat and cloak. When have you ever seen that?
A little exaggeration never hurt, but it's your story to tell, if you have a different version of events.
If you want the real truth, we'll have to go back further still. Let me tell you about a young man, Bernard Andrézy, his investigation and how it led to my arrest. On the second day, at a distance of 500 miles from the French coast, in the midst of a violent storm, a wireless telegraph message was received. Arsene Lupin is on your vessel. First cabin, blonde hair, wound right forearm. Traveling alone under the name Ray. The telegram was cut short, but by the next morning the whole ship had heard of Arsene Lupin's presence, and the deck was alive with gossip and rumors.
Can you believe it? Arsene Lupin stowed on board. I heard he once dressed as a Spanish bullfighter and a...
Arsène Lupin, the man of 1,000 disguises. If what the newspapers say are true, he could be disguised as anyone.
Apparently, he's traveling under the name R. But before anyone says anything...
The waiter at breakfast told Miss Underdown and I that he had snuck on in the dead of night in a rubber life raft.
Can you imagine it? Daring, dangerous. It's like something out of a storybook. Don't you think, Miss Underdown?
Not a book I'd read, but I can see why there might be excitement around him.
Should we be worried? I have valuables on board and the things I've heard about that man.
You've got nothing to worry about. But Miss Underdown, if you feel nervous...
Miss Gerland and I shall both be fine.
Wouldn't it be exciting if I could get a photograph of the famous Arsène?
It would certainly be some feat, as you said. A man of 1,000...
No, it wouldn't. As soon as he is caught, he'll be behind bars, where he be... Hey, you. Come here a second.
Bernard Andrézy. How do you do?
I see my reputation precedes me.
You did just say your name.
Oh, yes. I'll get right to the point. Miss Underdown. We're both warm-blooded males. There's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition, right, Benny?
It's Bernard.
I told you to keep it to yourself.
But you know how gossip travels. It was always going to get out.
I wanted control, how and when. What are we going to do?
Post someone on the stairs guard in the storage room. And another guard in the crew quarters.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Get to it then.
I wonder if I could ask you a question?
The dining hall is past the cabins.
I was more interested in the ships on one.
If he's not fleeing from one job, he's probably moving on to the next. Maybe it's time.
You think he's here to rob someone? Would he really go all the way to America?
From what I've heard, he's prepared to do anything to get what he wants.
There's plenty of guests on board that would be the perfect target for him. Excuse me, miss.
Oh, you gave me an awful...
That's expected with Arsene Lupin on board. Allow me to introduce myself. Bernard
Lady Gerland, how do you do? A cryptic telegram comes through saying a blonde man wants to steal all our belongings, and we're supposed to remain...
I'm not exactly sure that's what the telegram implies.
Maybe that's because you don't have as much to lose. You mean besides how he spent his life as a criminal, stealing people's hard-earned money? I've never heard Father say one good...
From what I've heard, he doesn't care what people say about him, just that they're saying something at all.
And what does that say about him?
Excuse me, Miss Underdown?
The excited man with the camera.
That's me, Bernard Andresi. But just Bernard is fine.
Just Bernard. What can I do for you? What makes you say that?
To be honest, I don't know. She talked on the deck about her and Lady Gerland. Use your brain next time.
I'm afraid there isn't much to know.
I'm sure that can't be right. A beautiful, intelligent young woman like you?
Be careful. A girl could get used to such flattery.
Things seem to be going well. This voyage has a lot more potential. I should take this moment of awkwardness as a sign. Although, I may still be able to redeem myself.
We're all on this ship to relax, and having him on board has changed everything.
Only if you let it.
I suppose you're right. Thank you. Now, I have a question for you. What brought you on this voyage across the Atlantic?
My work. I'm a photojournalist, or at least trying to be.
That would explain the camera.
It wasn't my initial plan. But if I could get a shot of Arsene Lupin, it would do wonders for my career.
Go on.
What would you say to you and I trying to find Lupin ourselves? An exciting notion, don't you think?
Exciting would be one word.
You don't want him to ruin your trip. And if we don't do something, who will?
I wouldn't usually be so easily persuaded. Where would we even start? What do we know about Arsene Lupin?
We don't know how he did it, but it shouldn't be too hard to spot. We should look for someone with an injured... He's a master of disguise, but we can only work with what information we have. We should look for... I imagine there are a number of guests on board with that initial. We should try and...
Very astute, Monsieur d'Andrécy. Bernard. Anyone would think this isn't your first
There are many things you still have to learn about me. Monsieur Rosen!
Really? The gentleman from...
Arsène Lupin is known as a master of disguise.
Don't hold me in suspense.
Do you think you could keep Monsieur Rosen distracted while I search his cabin for evidence?
And what am I to say to him?
Just be your ever-enchanting self.
That I can do.
Hey. Hey. There isn't time for mistakes. If this doesn't impress Miss Underdown... Aha. Oh. I think I'm getting the hang of this detective thing. The proof is here somewhere. Come on, think. One step closer to proving it. There isn't time for me. Come on, think. The proof is here somewhere. If this doesn't impress Miss Underdown... one thing. There isn't time for... The proof is here somewhere. There isn't time for me. The proof is here somewhere. I think I'm getting the hang of this detective thing.
So, you decided to take me up on my offer. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist.
Yes, with that man on board.
You've nothing to fear when Louis Rosaine is near.
I feel nauseous listening. I can only imagine how she feels. Ooh. Oh.
So that's how the great Arsene Lupin was caught. By two amateur sleuths?
Are you questioning my storytelling?
No, it's just the newspaper reports didn't include anything of your claims.
Claims? It's the truth. The newspapers have never been worried with allowing the truth to get in the way of a good story. The good story I was just getting to.
I just think we'd benefit from hearing all sides of the story. At least about what Inspector Ganimard did when he boarded the ship. This is what I heard.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome you to the United States of America. There will be a minor delay in the disembarking of the ship. A detective has come aboard to take over certain matters with an unwanted guest. Yes, I know what his name is, and it doesn't need to be repeated. Yes, they know it too. I ask for your cooperation. The faster he's found, the faster we can get you all on dry land. This detective better know what he's doing.
It's Inspector. Today is the day. He is on board, and he's not getting away this time. One more failure, and the Commissaire General. I am Inspector Ganimard, and shall be addressed as such. Everyone is to remain on board until Lupin shows his face, and I have the coward in... I don't ask for much, but I'm asking now. Please.
You've got him down to a T.
Inspector Ganimard, you mean?
It's like he's here in the room with us.
I've read enough about the frustrating years and near misses of pursuing his rival. It wasn't hard to find his voice.
He certainly wasn't going to let anyone get in the way of him catching his prey.
Captain, I'm sure you're eager to get Lupin.
Of course. And you're right.
You can save the speech. I don't want your ship.
We've narrowed it down to 2 suspects.
Saves me a job. Let's hope the captain keep... I'm going to need to see inside their cab.
Of course. Which...
Then that must... Who said I'm getting... If he wanted to hide his suspicious activities, he's not doing a very good job. There's nothing more to see here. Take me to the other cab. Oh. Oh. Just some good old... Ah. Um... Not as clever as you... Get your head in the game. It's going to be a... It's called common sense. You're supposed to be an inspector. No. Master Thief. Uh-huh.
You mean, how they?
Just tell me who will have...
The porter's in the storage room. It's his job.
There's a suspicious number of medical supplies here. And Lupin is nurse.
I didn't know he had so many medical supplies in here. And the meeting...
That's what Lupin wants him to think.
Is one of them our man?
I'm going to need to speak to some book.
Detective, I've been looking...
Inspector. Make it quick.
You can add theft to his list of crimes. He's taken my jewels.
Lupin.
Inspector, thank you.
At your request, Miss...
Gerland, please. This morning, I started packing my luggage, and when I went to the safe, they were gone. Gone.
Oh, if she shouts at me one more time...
You can't really suspect me of anything.
It's my job to follow up on anything
Suspicious? I was drafting a letter to a friend.
That would be obvious to any... Huh? Huh? Oh. You must be...
About time.
Took the words out of my mouth. We need to talk.
Yes?
I've searched your cabin.
You've done what?
I've started my investigation. And...
The telegram. I wanted to make sure what we were told is actually what it said.
I didn't think that was for guests' eyes.
I can be persuasive when I need to be. Or at least my wallet can. But it was a waste of time. It was all... Like I told everyone, I am not Lupin.
That settles it then. Your innocence is... Oh.
Inspector. It's called first class. I believe Miss Underdown is still with her male companion in the tea room. I presume the sobbing from the cabin is Miss Gerland.
Your crew? And?
My first mate is in the crew quarters, and a porter is working in the storage room. Ah, yes, you mean Major Rawson. He's actually been in the infirmary with sickness since our first day at sea.
Oh, nice of him to tell me now. Oh, when will this incompetent... What is that god-awful smell? It smells like...
Death. Oh, and lucky me gets to clean the trail all the way to the cabins.
Oh, there'll be people jumping up.
I'll be the first.
Huh? I need to ask you a few questions.
Go on. I wouldn't say suspicious. It was just one of the crew. I hadn't...
Arsene Lupin is on board, and you didn't think it could have been him in...
If it was him, he didn't seem like a bad guy. Quite.
Not a bad guy. When will people realize he's just a criminal? Uh-huh. This old dog still got some... How does he do it? Carry on like this, and they'll have your bad. No wonder he's always... It's called common sense. How does he do it? I'm hot on your heels now. I need to ask you some questions.
Of course, Inspector. Nothing. Wish I had, though. We could do without reward.
Not bothered about stopping a notorious...
And that too.